King Beast? Welcome back to Pyre. We just got Snake Lady. We just failed our second Liberation Rite. Our goal today is to get to another Liberation Rite and actually win it this time. Should be doable now. I mentioned last time that the cycles get shorter each time until eventually there's not another cycle, as you might imagine. The game has to end at some point, right? So I think getting to the Liberation Rite should take most of, if not all of this session, and then we might even get down to 2 in the next one. Volume's all set up correctly, yeah. Cool. Right, so we did just get Snake Lady, and, I'll wait until after this.
Sabundias.
Right, as I was saying, so I like how they waited till after another cycle before they handed her to us, because, had we won, we would be down 2 people right now, and those, 2 people would likely be from our starting cast, or at least some of the people we got very early on, because they would be the only ones with enough experience to graduate or whatever. So, once you've lost 2, they hand you a few more, because your lineup's probably got a lot less variety in it. You might be missing your big aura demon, or your fast human, or your fast beast, whichever. Anyways, I think there's one more companion we can actually get, and I'm not sure when that'll be. I haven't gone anywhere because I see this. I don't want to read it. The inverted ball of Solium roars into the sky. Somewhere beyond it lies the Commonwealth. Beyond your vision, beyond your grasp. That's a good question, Hedwin. I don't think I mentioned, Hedwin was actually probably the first person I got rid of first time I played this, so I don't know anything about his character, really. It's like the whole thing about him having a Horp girlfriend was, like, actually surprising, and this dialogue probably didn't happen before either. I don't think I even necessarily wanted to get rid of Hedwin, because at the end of that first year, you don't know anything about any of these exiles, really, so, like, you don't know who's ready to leave, who deserves to be down here. I just had to pick one of the 3 that were eligible, and he got the short end of the long end of the cock. Said there's no reason to return here, and she's right, but I do think this might be the area where we fight the imps. I mentioned somewhere in our first year that I think there's a team of imps that you play at least once, and I'm a little shocked that we haven't run into them yet. Oh, also, I said at the end of last session I was on the verge of finishing another 3 games. I did, in fact, finish all 3, so I have those to talk about again. Zivus Horse-Headed, the Mare Titan. Mare means female horse, I think. Slain by Tristia, the bird scribe. Broke the land beneath the burning hooves, unwielding vengeance. She's like War's horse, Ruin, the flaming boy. This is only carving, it's not the actual corpse like many of the other Titans. Somehow that makes it lamer, even though it is a pretty cool looking thing still. This over here is probably the actual corpse. Look at that. What could that possibly be but a horse skull? And this lava is likely its blood. Ah. Supposed to come here too, wasn't I? Okay, well, I'll land on one of these. Time for my vocation. I don't know, Tizo might get a buff. Which... I feel like I've used Tizo recently. Yesterday, I think I used Pamitha in almost every game, so I'd like to avoid using her this time. Do I go for vocations though? I'm almost maxed out in my book. Otherwise, I don't really need to worry about that specifically. Maybe we'll give Tizo a buff. Wilfred pouring over a copy of the Book of Rites as you approach. Not my copy. Some people smiles. Yeah, it is pretty weird, isn't it? Who would come up with such a contrived system? I imagine this is what most people say. I don't think anyone would find reading it tedious because it's optional. However, I find it fascinating. Really, this is like the 3rd time I'm saying it. I want to see like an actual JRPG with like combat in this world. Ideally a sequel, and you can just like throw in the Titans as the bosses, like it's already written for you. However, sequel could work, I don't know. Why not? It told Wilfred the book has fascinated you and that you've never seen anything quite like it. You nod slowly as you describe your experience of it. book. Didn't it say that the book was made of the skin of the Titans? So, considering that most of them are like big rotting piles of bones, you'd think that this flesh would have rotted by now too, right? They probably cured it with something. Resin, heat, damn it.
Sempara Varidus.
He used to teach a version of the book. I don't understand how that could be, because in the Commonwealth specifically, there's, no one's allowed to read, so you wouldn't have the book there, right? And again, he did get in trouble for having a printing press. Maybe only officials can read, like people in the church or whatever. So I guess they have their own Bible version of this with probably less truth. Anyways, I think we're making pretty good progress with the books. I don't need to read it like at every turn. I'll probably do one before the right, but right now, play with Tizo. Look at that little boy. Oh shit! Riki! Tizo wants you to help him dig up something right under his feet. Begin to dig in the vicinity and soon uncover something long since buried, perhaps for someone such as you to find. Bright Wisp. If banished while possessing the orb, the bearer has a chance to automatically pass it. That's great. It's almost as good as automatically respawning. So that's who I picked. Wonder why. It looks like a Rick and Morty character. Probably because I suffered a brutal defeat and I wanted to crush these guys, but maybe they got better. Tizo seems to be in a mystic conversation with Lone Minstrel as opposed to him. It appears to be perturbed about something.
Recarabala.
Korea. Tizo seems to be asking a Lone Minstrel to confirm he's not playing some sort of prank.
Se va.
Karoom. Tizo seems to be admitting Lone Minstrel has always been sincere with him.
Prosta.
Your last remaining links, that means that you knew the original ones? I told you this guy probably wasn't human. Look at him, he's gray. He could be a rotting corpse for all I know, or perhaps he is Solium. Probably not. I think Solium's supposed to be the voice or whatever. The voice is probably something else entirely, but that's what I think for now. Yeah, Tizo, grateful and minstrel for his kind words. He considers him a friend as well. Also, look at his eyes. See how they glow? It's like a vampire. Yes. Tizo is the best boy. You concur with Lone Mitchell's assessment of Tizo, and most remarkable and irreplaceable member of the group. He is an extraordinary imp indeed. He gave me an imp hug. Rehawk. Tizo is grateful for kindness and you support of him. Tizo bounds off happily as the Lone Mitchell looks on.
Some sort of Italian.
He has dreams of visiting the Commonwealth, but I feel like it's probably more of like a proper visit kind of thing, like a vacation. Like, you wouldn't want to stay there. Like, when I go to the beach, it's nice for a little bit, but eventually I'm like, man, I'm tired of having sand all over my feet, and it kind of hurts, and my house is dusty, and I'm sticky from all the gross ocean water. And yeah, I couldn't imagine living on the beach my whole life and actually enjoying the beach after that. Anyways, yeah, I noticed us drinking all her freaking moonshine. Trying to seduce me, Miss Harpy? You don't have the arms to do so. It's the best bottle ever. I mean, it is a poison. You just gotta drink a lot of it.
Bevende dametas.
Maybe she's having a bad day. Huh? That's probably gonna piss off Gertrude, but... Don't see many things happening. What if I have an alcohol problem, though? guess there's nothing like the glorious bell. I'm gonna talk to Ron, then I'll probably read a page of the book. I don't know. Didn't buy nothing. Oh, yeah, I guess that would explain it right there. Solium's horn. Solium's a demon. But he's not the minstrel, for certain. Though they knew each other, so he still could be a scribe of some sort. Maybe he's one of these, the savage people. Would explain why his eyes are crazy. You've heard of this one, why not? Sound pretty useful. Probably throw her in the game too, so Jodariel isn't going to participate. Probably throw in May and Tizo since he's got a buff. There's our team. What have we got? What have we got? Vanessa Triesta, the ashen effigy of the nightmare of Zilvius horse-headed looms over the dark as ever on the precipices of Black Basin, where her chaotic influence sundered the land itself until it wept with fire. The very instant that our graceful friend, the Tithys, finally laid to rest the greater Titan with the power of the holy scepter of the Empire. The stars shone down upon us with blinding light. Triesta thought that she could bear her children in the warmth there, but alas, now the stars revisit the locale with regularity. The fissures in the rocks do pose more danger than one ought to invite, but a summons to the nest is to be honored. But alas, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe she thought this would be a good home, but the stars keep falling, so she can't. So, maybe that's why this is full of holes. It's been struck by a handful of stars, meteors. What else have we got? The Glade of Blue. Never have I witnessed an affront to nature. Mine and everyone's quite like the poison woods of Limus Arazak. The root titan suffered as a suffocating influence. I shall leave it to the boastful Underking to tell you more of Arazak's vanquishing, whilst I may tell you something of the glade that he protected, which became my own. For his own genealogy now occupies the soil there and strives furthermore to prevent Arazak from taking root again. The brambles that glade are constantly encroaching on themselves and falling once again to dust. The miraculous cycle reflected in the starlight piercing through the canopy needs to be witnessed wherever the stars invite an audience. I think I just saw the Titan at the bottom of the tree. It had like a bunch of heads coming up. So by root titan, it must mean that it's titan made of roots. As in, like, each root has a head on it, like a hydra. Maybe that tree is the whole corpse, I don't know. I got the impression that it was the wood fellow who slayed him, but whatever. Time to fight! Except for the rite to commence, all is quiet and sweltering confines of Nesta Riesta. All there is left to do is wait for nightfall to set. He observed still Gilman sliding back and forth. His seasoned sun is weighing on his mind. Oh yeah, shit. I might need to put in Gilman. Deal with the fish boys, so... Probably not gonna use May then, because she's supposed to be fast. Gilman is fast. This night is not a night at all. This night betrayed his former commander, abandoned his brethren of the Sea Dominion. But what is knighthood even? What is knighthood if it means having to follow a craven such as Sir Deluge? Thesis nonsense, Gilman. Focus on the right, focus on the right, focus on the right. Notices he finally.
Malakratia Magaratus. Liberation Rite.
Maybe he just wants to, like, embarrass Sir Deluge. Get everyone to realize that he's a fucking shithead and a coward. Unfathomed Plurnies. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Your adversaries each have plus H quickness, making them move faster. Are you kidding me? Hell no.
Islock, Astral Born.
Huh. I'll just stick with the one. Made their AI stronger, I guess.
The much vaunted reader has returned, and it would appear his ranks grow stronger. Consorting with the bog-crone Bertrude, are we? How very strange that you befriended her. At any rate, your adversaries in this rite shall be the Pyre Hearts. Put out their flame and walk the path to liberty.
Somvarte Praventus.
The bog-crone Bertrude shows herself in full. Though I have to wonder what became of her accomplices. Of one accomplice in particular. You watch yourself around her, reader. None are sentenced into exile without sufficient cause.
This is real fast. She feels kind of floaty. Kind of like how Ruki slides a bit. For whatever reason, she feels more 3D than any other characters, maybe because she is. And that definitely doesn't seem to be like snapping at specific angles, so it's not like she's just being rendered in a different direction or whatever. The other characters seem a bit more 2D though, what do you think? So that's like greatest pose ever. Ow, it comes out in 2 separate waves, that's pretty useful. Power boss is actually kind of difficult.
It is Pyre. No Beru Santos.
Wonder why she believes in Sandalwood's plan if she was exiled for whatever reason.
Bertrude.
Seems like the Crones don't care for anything, and not even just the cult. They're isolationists just by nature.
Tizo.
I got him using your Pyre, I'll take it.
Sir Gilman. Ow.
And Grad.
Commence.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
One false move.
Wait, did he jump into the pit? Is that what happened there?
Not much of a splash that time. Now then.
Oh. Passed it. Beautiful.
Righteous fire!
Righteous.
How careless. Such wherewithal.
Man, they're getting crushed. I knew they would. Probably should have equipped more stars. Ah, shit. I mean, for that to happen. Oh, oh shit.
You left yourselves wide open. One careless step.
Man, they did jump into the lava.
Blow against their pyre. Now go on, just once more.
I'd always assumed that the banishing and such was, you know, part of the rites specifically. If you happen to get burned alive, it wouldn't be able to resurrect you, but I guess that's not the case.
Quench now their fire.
This explosion is crazy wide. I guess that's how they improved.
There goes old
I meant to
Bertrude.
do a cast before that happened. Oh well. Oh, Gilman. Yeah.
It is done. The Nightwings
Did in fact crush them.
Mayhap the scribe shall simply smite them down next time. The rite is ended.
Sararam Haloshin. Sararam Haloshin. Savaros Namainum.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
Definitely enjoyed Bertrude more than,
Deepens in the mind of the imp teaser.
what's her face, Jody. She's faster. Like, she's still slow, but she gets momentum. I think her movement's physics-based. That's probably how she slides. Yeah, that's great. Is the plan to just get all those? That sounds really powerful too, though. I'm definitely getting this. I'll worry about it later.
The ancient crone called Bertrude opened up her eyes.
And what she got? We're at a disadvantage. We take less damage. That's useful. Right, saluting average burns turns into fast-moving howlers. Oh, she turns them into howlers. So, I guess it probably gives them a speed boost, but they can't cast. Buffs her sprints. That's cool. It's like the opposite of this one. That's useful. That'd be wonderful to have. I guess it's just offensive and defensive. No, they're both pretty balanced. This is a defensive tree, but it has offensive mid skills. And this one's the other way around. I think I would just go with this whole tree then. I think this is a little more useful than this, considering what the final thing is, but yeah, it's no biggie.
The secrets of the Wild Witch revealed. Until the next rite.
After thwarting the Pyre Hearts in rather one-sided contest, you return to the wagon to find Wolfred and Lone Minstrel in the midst of a conversation.
Tell us so.
Might be the imps? Question mark?
Preseronta.
Liberatus. Salicrestra levas.
Yalmer rope collar. I think he's the imp one. The first exiles came to these lands not by force, but by heeding the rope collar's deceptions. No, I can't use the usurper, never mind. I'm a dingus. Traitor's former aid to the Emperor, his actions inadvertently led eight scraps to find each other.
Frabele gasta.
A single shining star. I don't get to pick this time.
Sapre misere.
Naricta tagetas.
Migra pequeño.
Mesum legaretas.
Gilman's in a contemplative move seems very quiet, at least more so than usual, ever since confrontation with Sir Deluge. They know through there and slides forth in a solemn manner.
Lire miliat mesugarian. Torpedo miliat. Sa suprecta sombris atemlo. Ovara tempuriliat. Temporalis.
Slithers off, head held high, though not merely in pride. Something has changed him. Gilman gained 2 presents permanently. Hell yeah. He still doesn't think he's worthy to leave, though. Let's go see what's going on with this star. It said we were going to fight the Harp Triumvirate, but I don't think that's the case. I hope it's not, because I didn't plan on not using Pamitha. Wolford joins you as you soar high above the storm-ravaged waters on an approach to the infamous Isle of Hjalmar.
Recostara brutus.
Idum sacrignare.
Quali delibraleas.
Terum castrale.
Samere previset.
Barber Reef. sharp shoal. Sounds like this place is full of spiky crap. I knew it's stardust. Probably use that to upgrade talismans. Izo is expressing an interest. Make landing within the Dimple's Tempest, far west from where you first reach through the shores beyond. You wonder which sort of celestial landmark lies hidden among these waters, so for now you have some time left before continuing onward. We'll read that page we just got. Also, what's this? A tiny tempest. Entertaining, but would unleash calamity if ever it were to be unbottled. Whoa. You know, I'd probably pay an amount of money for a lightning bolt in a bottle. Deathless Tempest. We waited for the Deathless Tempest to subside. We waited, but the Underking, he merely laughed and laughed, for the Deathless Tempest does not subside. What lies beneath that stretch of the sea will cause such an upheaval it is best left to myth and speculation. We made passage nonetheless through sorceress aid and fortune, piercing the surrounding environs. Does that mean, like, things in the environment? You can't see anything? Ever heard the word environs? We did detect a landform to the west. Solimer detected that their presence of the treacherous aide who lured him into exile, and then followed him in turn. Her, in his wisdom, thought it best to be avoided. Last did we arrive on distant lands, though seeing them provided little comfort. Greater Titans. The stars shine beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain. The burning essence of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside, this one met those whose own stars shall doubtless burn at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You might have seen some evidence of it. The remains of the Greater Titans, which once darkened this land, but in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble charge to chronicle those deeds, and may the Titan stars ever stain the sky during your time. Get the Fu Manchu. That's the Underking. Your intentions to explore the steady currents of Barb Reef were dashed when you're on your rival. Several wagon stronghold drive imps escaped. Fortunately, their disposition towards mischief proves predictable enough, and soon all the imps are once again accounted for. However, Tizo also has a nasty bite to show for it. Tizo's very angry with his fellow drive imps. He dressed a minor wound, which ought to heal soon, but the incident took much of your remaining time of the day and left Tizo awaiting its merciful conclusion. Oh no. Hey, you see that? It's got impeds. It's gotta be it. Shame Tizo just got fucking bit. Oh! I love him. The messenger imp appears to you for the balanced waters, then presenters bear news rumors from the other side. Oh no. Why did I let her win? You learn what happened with disturbing bitch who Milda. We first encountered in Flying Hands and led her into Liberation Rite, and she last prevailed. Thus did she return unto the Commonwealth, where all her hideous transgressions were forgiven and forgotten. She but laughed, invoking oaths in the name of her patron, Slach. She subsequently fled into the southern bogs and has not been seen since. There she remains, doubtless plotting for faint acts against the very fabric of the world. As for the exiles who returned after delivering message, they dispersed to aid her in whatever she intends next. We shall not face them in the rites again. We thank the messenger for delivering this information and how much is true. We cannot know for certain. The imp declines her offer for a place to rest and hurries on its way. Right, so they tried to hit her with the grand ceremony. She's like, I'm out here, suckers. And she goes to plot world's destruction. The wagon shudders to the halt now. Pjalmar is our Count Propins give it a foreboding feel. The distance, you hear gibbering noises sound like drive imps. Dial Gelmer, the traitor Gelmer Ropecolor, whereas he brought about the Emperor's fall, whereas he nearly claimed the life of our dear Solium, we forgive him. We have forgiven him. We give a certain thanks to him, for he has played a vital part in the Star's plan. If not for him, then we the Eight would never have aligned. We never found the rope collar. He fled into the sea towards the Nile, which we knew well to avoid. Was there to think Yalmer's tattered mantle finally did him in among the wild imps. Did the stars ever converge above that isle? It shall be to signify that their long dance across the skies had shrunk to a close. So, did he, like, ironically get hung by his own scarf? A mantle is like a cloak. Like, you mantle it over your shoulders, so... Yeah, I think he got hung by it. Considering his name as the rope collar. Yeah. Perfect.
Moshe!
The Jeweled Band and the Moonwood Band. Wow, that's awesome. And it has a set bonus, sick. They're both the same. The issue is you need two people to have them equipped to get the full benefits. No, they're really not bad if you're just using them for stats. No.
Liberation ties.
sell this. This one's only strong because I dumped stuff into it, I think. Otherwise, it's about as powerful as those bands, which I want. I'll sell this one because it does what the bands do. Need more money though. I feel like I should keep these just because they're unique, but if I never plan to use it, then another thing. I don't know, I feel like because I dumped dust onto these, I should hold on to them. Though they seem to make up their own cost for the most part. Yeah, screw it. Sell them both. Give me those. Give me one of these for now. Try to find the money for the other one, honestly. Downside travels. You cannot survive downside if you cannot get around. Howler shall descend on you, or tempest shall shear you to pieces. That is the way of it. Traveling through the environs is not a simple feat. Consider yourself blessed if you were born a cur. If not, however, you shall have to find a means to cross these lands without the benefit of horse-strong calls. Sklorian believes this untamed land can be traversed through means unnatural. Though at first today he meant sorcery, but he suggests invention. He speculates that carriages could cross the land by harnessing its fury. A wild thought. In my case, my follow shall suffice. This was wonderful, but it's only useful if you've actually lost points. I think I might hand him as your jeweled band. And with the fines used, everyone's preparing for the Cone Rite against instance. Despite this meeting, you get another confrontation with the Blood Sister, who's very calm. Lord Ganondorf. Adversaries shall have more presence. That's horrifying. Unless you have people who can, like, fly, you're kind of screwed if they have too much presence. I think I would go with one of these. I mean, they're basically the same thing. No, I'd get more practice if I had to score more points, yeah? Then again, that just means there's a greater chance that I'll lose than with this. And it's like an endurance thing.
Endriga, the widow.
With Endriga. I really should be playing with as many of these as possible during these non-liberation rites because they get you bonus experience, so it's gonna make your life easier in the end.
Glorious eve to you as ever, O you exiles of the Nightwings. The 8 scribes dragged you all the way into the blasphemous Isle of Kaelma. Here
That's how you
are to be
pronounce that.
surrounded by even more gibbering nitwits than usual. Your adversaries in the rites this eve shall be the Essence, whose ever pyre yet burns ere the break of dawn, shall surge forward on the path to glory.
Look at that, it looks like a soccer field.
Prepare yourselves.
Or football field. American football. Anyways, this has to be the map I was thinking of, so maybe you don't fight a team of all imps. Just have a special map. Whatever. These things move. That's probably why it stuck out to me so much. Panther remains steadily along your fellow exiles' response to being present to Blood Sister once again. Yamatho looks right her entire time, speaks, but never once acknowledges her directly. Yamatho does not acknowledge her, he said something that she's focused on the right sentiments at any moment.
Now let us begin.
Right, I feel like you should always have the person who's got stakes in it in the thing. We'll learn more about their story, so even though I didn't plan on using her, I used her so much last time. Going in. Gertrude has more experience to gain.
Gertrude.
And then... Rookie, why not?
It is done.
Servite per ignave.
Reviscabas.
Oh, they're gonna pay us if we win, hell yeah. I mean, this is a proper sports arena. Really, the imps just love the rights.
Semqueras cogiter.
Ma cognare sa.
Pizza Glory, there's probably a challenge you have to do then.
Barushta. Reprotestareva.
It's forced to task with Pizza Glory, flashes flames, right? Banish 2 exiles in a single cast.
Sinners.
Hell yeah. Sinners! Let's get heard!
Audacious, aren't we?
Ah shit, what pushed me? Neither of the hitboxes on these things kinda off.
Banished, all of them.
Damn, that lingering trail was OP. Oh! Oh! Haha, now I don't even have to dive.
Pamatha threw it in. Out flame.
Ah, crap. Off. Oh!
Virtue banished.
Ah, I used all my stamina.
Their pyre sputters. The Nightwings edge closer to victory. Splendid!
Oh,
She soared right in.
I just walked into it.
How fine. Ouch.
Ah, shit.
By the scribes.
The Imps grow more and more agitated with each passing moment. Some start spilling into the sacred grounds.
What are those blasted creatures doing? This is a sacred tradition, not some boorish spectacle. Ooh,
Leave behind goopy trails. It's like they banish you, but they probably slow you or something. Rod Forest.
glorious. No more than a lick of flame remains.
Gowd.
That's it. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail again.
Crushed it.
It's that their adversaries failed to stop them. The rite is done. What stirs now in the hearts of all these exiles?
Man, I want to get May in a game soon.
Gertrude's lust for knowledge becomes manifest. Until the stars align.
After you and your fellow exiles feed to the essence, you find a lone minstrel tending to one of your own. It seems to be unwell, although you cannot yet sense why.
Más menudo.
Irata remedios.
Pratere.
The minstrel motions you to come closer.
Audira liberatus.
Banishment sickness. An ailment suffered by those who frequently conduct the rites, debilitating but fleeting. Sense of loss and isolation or man, something's been beyond that time. Huh. So I'm guessing she got debuffed because I used her so much. So they're trying to encourage you to vary it up. Probably because they know that you're going to be losing characters. So you don't want to have anyone who's underleveled, you know?
Strale saretas.
I got the bug. Sure. Never not happy to go against the Fate. They're a pretty normal team. Albert Oldhart, an adversary who showed you the respect and even generosity. Despite his advanced age, he also made for a formidable opponent, and his son, his not son, the so-called Almer the Helpless, ever present at his father's side. He was abandoned as an infant before Delbert found him and raised him down. Raised him as his own. Raised him down. That sounds like such an insult. Anyways, this is perfect because I think that this is the team that May has stakes in, so, you know, I wanted to use her. Albert taught his son everything he knew of his cultural heritage as a descendant of one of the Alpha Chiefs, thought to be descended from Yomer Many-Made himself. However, his more vocal attempts to preserve the old Kur traditions in the Commonwealth often fell on deaf ears, or even roused the anger of officials. One day he insisted on celebrating the Fang Song. Against the wishes of his family's caution was well founded in this case, and he was taken into custody. Fang Song, an old Kur holiday in which a single pack of Kurs vanquished an entire Imperial brigade. The Yomer shells and Yomer's many names ran red that day. As for Almer, as for his father, was led away. Put up enough of a fight to where he wound up sharing his father's cell, and soon enough his sentence. And the downside, their faith brought them in contact with a pack of spiritual Kurs fighting in the Yomer Valley. In time, they became acquainted with the rites and helped revitalize long struggling triumvirate known as the Fate. They have since struggled on at times, flirting with freedom, though seldom getting within striking distance. Yet still, they long to find a way to return to their ancestral home and family. Sounds like he's a real mama's boy, but for his dad, he argued to go to jail with his father, even though he didn't actually do anything. Now I just want to go home so I can go be traditional Curs. So they didn't really do anything wrong. They just celebrate Forbidden Holiday. It's like a cultural thing. You can't put laws around that. Come on. You are unaccustomed to seeing Gertrude smiling, and yet he is doing just that. You soon see why. You observed before how her manners seem to soften to a degree. It can whenever Wilfred is around.
Mavistarivas.
Here's a reminiscing about old times in the Commonwealth. Flame-resistant ink? That doesn't make sense. Like, the paper underneath the ink would still burn, but, like, all that would be left is the ink. Would it just be, like, a very brittle letter? Or what? I'm so confused. How would anything survive if it was just ink that didn't burn?
Certas varten.
That's big plays right there. Oh, she's a fan. I see.
Lore distintas. Entramos y te vas.
Desabe raptus.
Siempre estamos, Agnosentare.
Narumka. Semaratas.
Norem caduce.
Temere hostia.
Narum care sasne. Ibre vomianita.
Ma fortam.
Old friends have evidently managed their way past certain tensions in the long-standing relationship. They rather seem to draw a certain strength from one another. Right, so it's also possible that she just made his inks. That makes sense. So maybe she didn't actually do anything wrong. And she just got arrested for, like, supplying him for his printing press. Also, it seems that Wilfred wasn't interested. So, rip Gertrude. Either that or he's some kind of man whore and he can't tie himself down to one woman. Those has eyes. They're sea urchins. Aha! A gloom hangs above the thick pit of Millitha, and all around it you are ready to seek your adversaries here again, reader. Wow, 3 options. Ornaments from those tasks which may earn Stardust. Comes nice. Find something of value. New means of getting Stardust, huh? May earn Stardust or guaranteed Starbust. I don't know, I'll take the cold mode, I guess. The Flagging Hand. You arrive in the darkest corners of Flagging Hands, already anticipating the sinking feeling that comes with the place. This time Bertrude has something to say for it. It reveals various salves, not slaves. Don't have dyslexia, people. And minor enchantments to help counteract spirit draining effect of the region. Soon everyone is feeling better, if but for the assurances. Yay. Beyond the crystal seeks Bertrude. Turned. Oh, you know, she's been fussy every time I ask what's on her mind. I'm gonna ask.
Infigralios. Oh. Somavieres tramitas. Compagine rotale. Caricumta nastis. Satamastis. Umburgesem tataloge.
Seré lo que das.
Chain. Igriata. Deare solistara.
Oh god, it's all the past boys. If I can get to the ball before them, I should be able to just jump clear over. That cur has a really big aura. Also, it seems that boost from Glory is in fact only 1 point, which kinda sucks. It adds up, but it sucks. Oh! Ah. Ah. Birds have such a proud-looking stance. Like the one that you always see salamanders doing. And just kind of look up. Their chests pop out. When I see him standing over my pyre after getting a point, I feel taunted. Really, I just wanted to say that I like the stance though. Salamanders are dope because they always do that. Makes them look tough.
O tempri hostia. Terepaloge.
Oh, what am I gonna get? What could it possibly be? Could it be better than auto pass the ball on death? I don't know, it's gonna be pretty hard to beat. Nulitha's tail. Virtue blast pierces through solid objects. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like, I don't even have to aim anymore. It already covers such a wide arc. Damn it, I need to equip that. I have the page for the flagging hands. Beyond the valley lies the flagging hands, which could be called a swamp, if the entire sea could merely be a lake. Soon after our arrival, several of us fell into dark despair. Such were the environs. After I found it rather fascinating, though. Why did I say after? I found it rather fascinating, though. After... Here I am, adding more words that aren't there. What is happening? It held aspects reminiscent of the southern fogs, it dwelled in as a tad. We grew accustomed to dampness of air that grew to savior certain twigs and beetles. It could be said that fighting hands are an acquired taste, recommended for only those with the same bent, or perhaps the downside's native imps. The sea surrounded the environments on three sides, appearing insurmountable at first. Endrega, the widow. The boundless sea of solace and the blackened star are all of what remains of the blood titan Endrega. After this one's exile, he was joined by many of the bravest worm knights who awakened the blood titan inadvertently, with searching the downside's murky depths. Endrega was the most displeased to see her hibernation end, and vowed to 4 ages torment on us and on our sea dominion. Our assault was grander than can be described, and lasted days and days and days. The noblest of Worm Knights fell upon her massive form, and waves which dashed themselves against the rocks. Her resolve eventually exceeded hers, and she collapsed into the seas and disappeared. This one alone remained to tell it. If I imagine a Pikmin boss fight, there's just a bunch of little worms throwing themselves at this fucking giant, getting crushed for days on end. And only one of them survived. Read one more. Essential structure. The essential structure of the Rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars within the darkened night, shall 2 triumvirates stand in opposition far enough afield beside the concentrated fires symbolizing their resolve. In each triumvirate, 3 shall act as one, demonstrating their trust in one another, not just in themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the Pyre's adversary, whose flames are only to be launched through celestial orb descending from the stars. Whoever Pyre remains burning shall prevail, triumvirates are to disperse. Right, so I just read rules, guys. Thrilling lore, truly. That page didn't need to exist. And it should be implied that it's within the book, but like, I didn't need to know that. You accompany the lone venturer on his journey through the darkest corners of Cold Note, where it seems stars themselves recently said shone on their splendor. In time, you gather a good supply of stuff and return together to rejoin the others. Wow! That's a lot of stardust. In fact, I think I'm gonna drop it on that ring right now. Paired it down. It has no rank because it's paired. Lame. Eesh. Well, one of these has to be upgradable. This do. 20 is the next level, so I'd be wasting a little bit of that. Right. That's going to effectively double the lingering time, which means he's just going to cut off a part of the map for pretty large duration. Sounds pretty good. headwind. Headwind!
Chimkara Yurtas.
Points in direction of his cooking tinge, streamed over the corner of the wagon. Yeah, it's named Fire Cap. Probably gives you fucking diarrhea, dude. Glopkill sounds like a slimy fish.
Chi tempra varo.
Fillet of slur. The silt porridge? That sounds absolutely disgusting. Gotta be like grainy as shit, like cream of wheat or something. But silt sounds terrible. I don't really care for cream of wheat because of the texture, but gutter crabs. Let's go with the fillet of slur. I'm guessing these all sound terrible.
Venarempta.
Look, all of these sound awful, Edwin. I don't think we have much choice. As you assist Hedwin in preparing the fillet of slur, the two of you get to talking about the past, the reality of cooking, and the downside as a way of making it authentic.
Arcesarita.
Life on the blood border wasn't that much easier. Trying to get us down here. The Highland Ravens consumed stuff at the time. Taking one prospect. On the contrary, he seldom revealed much about his past to you.
Aldi American.
Danny. Girlfriend, the heart. He was just like, wow, I think I might be a furry. And she was like, wow, maybe bestiality ain't so bad. And that's when they finally said it out loud to each other and were like, wow, let's do it.
Naspatare. Crecare.
He deserted because he didn't want to fight his girlfriend's people. I feel like you should just be able to opt out if that happens. Another thing you just don't think about, how does it work? You know what I mean? Every world has a few weird non-human races. How does it work? He heads out in the afternoon to Sensefield Morty's. Haven't spoken with you. Headwind game +2 hope. Cool, as I haven't used them in a while. Right, like cats and dogs notoriously have like spiky prongs on their junk. So like you'd assume their beast counterparts would have the same kind of junk, but maybe they don't. But like if that were to enter a non-beast race, would it destroy them? I think I would like to choose to think that they just went with the normal human, like, reproductives. Mostly because, like, the female variants have, like, human breasts. Which is obviously not how it would be. Cats have, like, a gazillion nipples.
Yeah, Mokadi, Kadigwe.
Looks like we got about 10 coins for doing the challenge, so in another 3 rounds we should be able to afford the other thing without selling anything. Plans to use May. Headwind has a buff, so I guess I should use him too. And someone else. I'd say Bertrude just because she hasn't run out of green stuff yet, but I don't know, she might get sick if we do. I was about to say that, but I couldn't actually picture the robe in my head for whatever reason. Inverted colors, look at that.
Nera Karajitas.
Right now, this guy looks like a fucking Age of Conan character. That face, intimidating as hell. He's got 2 separate sets of horns, making it even more intimidating. And he's got these Kratos-ass wraps on him, which actually look a lot like what Tizo's got.
Mortaritas ta. Mostrano doravere. Taure Nulios. Incralandes.
Oralek. The mighty name.
Sushmen Morigasta.
Ulrich leaves without another word and serves Versailles and seemed to set the sky aflame. So did he just intercept the match by not actually fighting the fate? Maybe. Time Stinger Horn. Harnia. Adversaries each have 50% more stamina. I can deal with that.
Time Singer Horn. Reader, what lunacy is this? 'Twould appear the Nightwings are to stand against themselves this time around. This is a mutiny in violation of the sacred law. The exile whom you face, Oralek. Long ago he had his chance, and he relinquished it. He cannot simply claim it now. And I cannot preside over this nonsense. Good night.
Semana repretaran. Kirantus.
Beat them up, you son of a bitch.
Karamas vartum. Maretis tarma. The market. Cogretarmas. Nerum carides. Somprave flagrus. Nevaren lundes.
I guess the voice still can't actually see us. As long as he's not in gowns, he doesn't know Wolford's even alive.
Kirantus.
Oh, what a jerk.
Taracuras. Ipretim moritas. Sacopiritus. Liberatus. Termalim raves.
Alright, I think Wolford already shared his story with us. He's the one who fell when they were on their way up to the mountain. I don't know if that was before or after their match. I don't think he said, but I think it'd be a lot more tragic to think that they just won and he fell off before he got to go up the fall. Presumably he was still a human at the time. Anyways, we're gonna throw in May and Edwin. And someone else. Maybe Joe Dario.
Destinum perus. Casta noxamas.
those red matches. Whoa! Oh, that wasn't even May. No wonder his jump sucked. You son of a bitch. What? Did it just fling itself away as like point protection? Brutal, I'm probably gonna lose. Oh my god, he resisted it. Shit! I don't think he's fast enough to get here in time, but damn him if he does. Yeah, I've lost. I didn't even score a point. This map layout is really making this hard. Really taking advantage of the cover. AC9XD.
Bellume fortan.
Blood and Visla.
Paxeraven.
Templa Thronius.
Stop jumping. He is definitely the biggest threat. Oh my god, he caught it. It would have been great here for Rookie. That lingering trail he's got. Try to jump over it, you just land on it. time. I wanted to get a point with only 2 guys, but I wasn't thinking. Really should have just threw it. Wow, that imp has a fucking arm. Charge that up to full in like a second. This one's like easy points. I should probably try and dive this with Jody. I'll take what I can get. Oh. Alright, I only need to get one more dunk. Hell yeah. I thought I lost. Probably would have if Jodariel didn't boost my Pyre. I'm looking forward to playing them in a Libby.
Simplare Sashanta.
Wow, we can finally see your experience bar again.
Ti meritabes de Liberatus.
Liberatus. Senature.
There, deep in the infinite dark, once more you see a single star shining brighter than the rest. Sounds like it's time for Liberation Rite. It only took us 2 hours this time. Amazing, right? Probably get another small boy done. And then, I don't know, that was only 3 games, right? So, if we do another small one, we might be able to, finish the game next session. Still haven't decided what I want to play after this. Obviously I have a list and I can just pick any of them, but I'm not sure. Looks like they got pushed onto our adversary since they got booted before.
Sindavet Sarashe.
That was a sentence. Robert Ramernal.
Tamere Sare.
Flikrafta Cerebare.
I'm gonna go into this one with the utmost confidence because we haven't lost the game today. I feel good about the team that we're fighting. We got this. We're gonna win one of these finally and maybe not get the bad ending. There is one celestial landmark in which I would never again wish to tread, unless of course the stars beseech me to. It has to be the pit. It was dark in there beyond all reckoning. If not for Milith's sorceress lantern, all of us, we would all have been lost. What lies within the pit is not to be invoked, although I have no doubt our godly Underking shall be able to prevent himself from boasting of how Milith is sealed in there for an entire age. The thing yet lies there on the edge of death, though its connection to the stars, it gives the pit significance. Walk there with courage and a steady mind. Time Singer Horn. The Tempest ravaging the downside are the handiwork of the Time Singer Horn, known as the Sky Titan. The furious elements they are his troubled dreams, manifested in troubled land. We, the Eight, sought to cure him of his ailment, for his unrelenting and unpleasant dreams had long become our treacherous reality. One night we drew him towards the rite of flame, a stratagem of Solimer's design. There he was, stricken by the stars and dazed and overcome by their eternal shining glory. The Sky Titan, thus bound with the sky, the tempests which reclaimed them, are but lasting traces of his waking dream. Bottom with stars, like in Paper Mario. Wow. Please, if you make an RPG, make that the mechanic. Searching the stars, they have seen the turning of the stars from now until the ending of our age. Heed their guidance and ours. The stars take many cyclic turns. The rites commence at their behest upon celestial landmarks, where the downside spirit titans fell before the heavens. Bearing this, the book bestowed on your triumvirate, you, the reader, shall perceive under which stars you are to congregate. Follow where they lead, as your adversary shall. If either of you fails to bear, then neither of you walks the path. Wherever you fail or you fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. One more. The Pyre Hearts. The Pyre Hearts all follow the path forged by King Auras. whose many mighty deeds exceed the smallest stature, somehow contained him. His is the most spirited, triumvirate, their courage unfaltering, their hearts full, their joke now. They lived always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, as at home above the sea, then it, never ceasing, ever longing, as they do, for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities and teaches that life devoid of passion is life devoid of life itself. The burning passions fuel it drive the Pyre hearts, in turn, us all. Well, there's someone to talk to. Wow. I didn't even see you there, little Tizo. Tizo seems despondent following the confrontation with Ulrich. Haru. Tizo filled in the mix of emotions, having seen Ulrich again. Like Wolfred, he thought sure that Ulrich had perished long ago. Tizo was angry that Ulrich acted so unfriendly with everyone. Then the little imp looks at you with sadness in his eyes, but says no more. He skitters up into the rafters. I didn't even look at what the challenge was last time. I probably didn't complete it. Gertrude slurs up to you as Black Wang Master skies above her former abode. Nurses, balms, potions, powders, cleaning reagents, sleep medicines, fungicides, seances. I don't even know what a seance is. Some kind of blood sacrifice? I think Gertrude's earned quite the name for herself throughout the downside and other things. Edwin shall gain favor. Tizo shall gain favor. I'm gonna use Tizo.
Planeritarum.
Sometime to spare after having laid, joined Tizo in a brief expedition to the monument called the Swallow. First, they describes a book of rites known as Gracious or the Accursed. An imp of rare intellect, he showed compassion to Suleiman after he fell into exile. I greet you all again, old friends, and you especially, great-grandfather. Thank you for watching over me and all of us. My friends could maybe use your help if you would offer it to them, whether through me or any of us. We shall honor your name. Nice to come. You would eat or finish paying your respects. Return to the Lagian science, feeling as though Paul has shown you favor. You soon shall be vacation. Get quickness. Hey, we're about to max out our book skills. looks up to you with his strange eyes, a color not unlike the binding of the book, and he smiles at you faintly. Bindings of the book? Is that like the strings, or is he talking about the pages? What are the bindings? I want to know. That has to do with his glowy eyes. I guess technically the text glows, and that's written in, like in blood. Does that mean that he's, like, implied to be blind? Bloodshot eyes? My precious. I think that's maybe what happened. What if my eyes are glowing now too? What if he was just a reader? I don't know why I expanded my eye like that. Pretty sure that was my bad eye too, so you probably sold a blood vessel. So it was freaking popping. Because my eyes are unevenly shitty. Neither one's 20/20, but one's a lot worse, so another one has to work harder. Making in favor, protrude. Now I wanted to put May in last one, and I did. I'll put her in again. Because of the team we're going against. When traversing the ancient formations on the way to the summit, you pass a moment to Yomer Many May, and May happens to take notice. Thanks be to each of you. The 8 scribes for it is how you unite us together in this your most sacred tradition. The path and the outcome are the same. It is not so, but I need not ask, for I am sure of it. And so I shall follow unflinchingly the path you prepared for me. Tune ye and she pray. Tripping over my words. As you prepare to continue for his end, you see that Yomer Many Made has shown you favor. He gained presence.
Teron teligaratus?
Escutil noxalas.
Salutium, seres.
Simnaterus.
Sum corevara.
Vorama cramptus. Vare. Simnaterus.
Seritam peluge.
Rata portalo.
Bro, I'm just doing this for my mans. Trying to get some of that wood.
Toricas gratas.
Felanta seres.
Smatam diamen.
Flies?
How'd you even get up here? You have to be one of the teams if you want to cross. Also, look at those colored sausages. I wonder if they're candy. There's an episode of Flapjack where they were selling candy hot dogs, and I thought it just sounded like the most disgusting thing in the world. They were shiny though, which made them look somewhat appetizing. Just knowing that there's meat under that. Ugh. It's a black hole after you get banished. This is probably just a cell thing, right? Yeah. Tempted to buy this. I don't think I ever am gonna have both of these equipped at once. But yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm probably not gonna use it, but it sounds cool.
Malo, Melioshim faz.
I wonder if you get to use items in the online mode. I understand this game still has a somewhat active community. I have a feeling it's one of those things where you're only gonna get people to join you if you join the Discord or whatever, but people still play it.
Ligaratus tamta.
Simpresit. Telekratitas.
Destrale avanza.
Well, would that mean that the Titans are resurrecting? Or are they eating the scribe souls out of the sky? That sounds dumb. I guess they're a bad omen nonetheless.
Firinda sare rictus. Terramarem raves. Mostrate mere. Rictus naris iame.
As the stars above begin to shine, Wolfred's words begin to sink in. It seems you have a limited number of chances of companions. What the hell? Alright, we're turning off all of these. But what is this? Zilvius horse-headed. Your adversary should never be banished after plunging in your... Oh, that... I don't even deal with that. I can. However, I shouldn't have any of these on during Liberation Rites. I've already lost 2 of them.
Congratulations, Rita. It would appear the rites are drawing to a close. Doubtless the doing of that Orlek in all his bitter spite. For now, your exiles have another chance at freedom here upon the fall of Solium. So too do the Fate, your adversaries. They fought so very bravely for this moment. Whichever side prevails soon shall send one of its own into the warm embrace of civilization.
Volunta lorigas.
Volunta lorigas.
Regeta noxalas.
Smushna patru.
You know, as much as they probably deserve to go free, it's gonna be sad when only one of them gets to go up. Probably gonna be the kid. Kid.
Means acetaroste.
Sumare narudere. Rasumi bongatus.
Sam noxalas.
Felamtas eres.
Smatam diamen.
I'm still all for sending Ruki home. I think his art has seen its way, but it doesn't want me to. Edwin can probably go. Gariel doesn't really want to go. And Tizo doesn't need to. Oh, we'll pick Edwin. And then main Tizo.
Who shall strive for him?
Nay.
Tizo. Very well.
Uite siamo in traje.
Commence!
Damn it. I didn't even mean to pass it, so I'm pretty freaking hyped that I banished someone with that. My intention was to do a jump. Ow. Just dodged right into that. Crap. Not dead yet. Oh, well, now I am. First blood. Oh shit. Heh, take that, you dingus. Oh. Oh. My bad. Just didn't pay for it. Shit. Oh. That was being slick. I think the AI would only go after one. I thought I was controlling. Damn it.
Well cast. No sign of the fate for now.
Users.
My word.
Sounds like we all lost hope.
Such a struggle it must be for poor old Dalbert and his witless son.
No! You son of a...
Edwin is banished.
Oh. Oh boy.
Bye-bye, Edwin.
Freaking invoking their underdog story, Deus Ex Machina. They suddenly become the greatest team on Earth once it's finally their time to win.
Too bad for that one.
I was being blocked by something.
Empire weakens. The Night Wings now are closer to achieving victory.
Damn. Oh yeah, I did banish them all. Nice. Shit.
There.
Damn, we are tied. Ah. Son of a bitch! Oh, shit. Get him! Yeah!
At last,
I won one!
the Nightwings proved their worth. Of their adversaries, the same cannot be said.
And I got an achievement? What for?
Thus
Prevail on
ends
a
the
raid when
Liberation
each of the
Rite,
celestial emerald. Oh,
and thus the
God, I guess I
Spartans
never
have
did that
chosen.
before.
The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free.
I guess there was one map that I just always wanted to avoid and never went back there.
Return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Well, bad ending or not, at least that wasn't completely pathetic.
Vesperia.
That's what I was saying before the match. It'd be sad when they're ripped apart. Oh, rookie? Danny. I think that he's gonna be good for racial tension as a figure.
Nasbatare. Kietatem.
Godspeed, Hedwin. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may yet continue for a while.
Level up.
Yare Asuntia?
Once again, I have forgotten which of these I wanted to go into. I feel like it was on this left side. Because that sounds pretty awesome. That also sounds amazing. In fact, a little too amazing. I might go for that. So your adversary is looking towards a word. Faster and farther. All these are kind of useful. I think I'm going to go with these.
Until the rites begin anew.
Nella restace. Certame gloretam.
Mela stagetas.
Simbagna sum fili. Semta tempore mara.
Siama?
Yeah, so did I. I didn't think it'd be such a close game, though.
Simadare. Varoci stranesta. Firinda sareritus. Rictus dare siane. Cognere mage. Sobrelifren fale.
Alfred's Planner. 42% chance of success with one man liberated. Sounds like I picked the right man for the job. Well, I wonder what this percentage actually means. When I get to the end, will it just, like, do a roll? Will it be 100% random, or does it just work if I'm past a certain percentage? Do I need it to be 100% chance to actually win? I don't know. Only 2 rights till next liberation. That's nuts. And based on our time, I guess I'm not gonna do another small right. We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. We'll read our thing and then we'll talk to Volfred. And then we'll talk about other video games, guys. You'd love to hear it. Slock Astral Born, the foul name of the star Titan is written here but once. But do not invoke it unless you aid its reawakening. It sups upon despair and fear and doubt, and lands such as our own. 'Twas our mighty mistress Militha which attacked the astral-born monstrosity within its lonesome pit, where it lay nursing wounds sustained from the traveling across the stars, in search of simple prey. The wicked astral-born could drive a lesser creature to the brink of sanity with mere passing glance, but not Militha. Crap. She cast upon the fiend 100 words of binding, each one more binding than the last. With the creature's incandescent skin, we bound his book and bound ourselves to the stars. Though Militha was the snake scribe, I guess you could say that the cult that wants to resurrect this man is going against their natural culture, a question mark? I mean, she couldn't kill it, so she cursed the fuck out of them, banished it. This would be like the final boss of the game. The god that the teenagers have to destroy for whatever reason. For each rite, the rite shall not commence unless necessary preparations are complete at a celestial landmark ere the stars align. Exile shall conduct the rite bearing the book, of which there are 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. Exile shall wear their sacred raiments fashioned in our likenesses, the summit of Mount Oyadel. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exile shall set a mental sigil for their pyre, and consecrate the grounds using the words the 8 scribes gave their freedom, so they may yet have ours. The heaven shall respond, and all is set. Fate. Fate. The Fate unite under main the Alpha Chief. He is brash but follows his traditions. He prizes faith, discipline, and honor, qualities he seems to lack at first. He formed the Fate under perceptions of the olden bylaws for his four-legged ancestors. They believe in a certain natural order in the way of things. Alright. It started raining like really hard out of nowhere. I thought for a second it was my computer's fans revving up. Not the case. I forgot where I was. Menuhin wanted for Fate likewise to show respect. Initially, it only chosen from other curves. However, he urged the Fate to replenish the numbers from many, raise ethnic groups thus willing. Thus shall they anticipate what is to come with open eyes and open minds, and never frown upon what is in store for them. But I guess you could say the dog and his human son kind of represent the ideals of the group entirely. On kinship. Each of us within the 8, besides the Imp Hobe, would have perished in the downside had we not found each other and together formed our union. Here in the downside, all are bound, but that which binds us here does not have some latitude. We chose the bond of kinship. Our exiles took precedence over our differences. The empire, which had subjugated all of our kind into a tense alliance, shall give way to a society in which our differences are paramount. There you may embrace your ancient cultures whilst jointly forming a great culture all its own. Next to mercy, it is kinship, that shall form the bedrock of our commonwealth. Prove myself to you, old man.
Sabombias. Tenkara fidet.
I hear thunder. That can't be good. Human Volfrid, speak a little more headwind for now. If you were wondering what shall become of them in the Commonwealth. Alright, guys, give me a second. We're sticking with rain again because I love rain. I love nice, polite rain. Right, so I finished 3 games. I currently only remember, fittingly so, I remember the 3rd one now. I see it on my Steam. We're gonna switch our camera. It's your boy. Okay, well. The first of the 3 that we finished was Prototype 2. I installed it on a whim. I don't know why I felt like playing it. Maybe I was just in the mood for a stupid superhero game. Now, honestly, I don't remember shit about the first game. I want to say it was exclusive to the 360, but I'm not... I'd be talking out my ass if I said that. That's where I played it, though. Yeah, I remember the game opening up with you on, like, Times Square, and you were, like, doing some biobomb shit, like, you exploded, you were killing people, whatever. And it, like, flashes ahead in time, and you have amnesia, and you're like, wow, what the hell happened to me? Why am I Albert Wesker? You talk to your sister, and she's like, well, I'm an edgy hacker, let's go fuck up the military who made this virus, I guess. And somewhere in the midpoint of that game, the virus gets out into the public, and there's like a whole faction war thing going on with the flesh monsters and the military, and you're able to like assist the sides to take over the city. And like that would have real impact on everything after you've gone through with these major battles, which happen periodically, like they're not missions. Then I don't think I even knew how to play the game, because I don't remember there being any depth to the combat or abilities. You kind of just grow different weapons that you get at story points. And then you had abilities. I know you did. This was a very light RPG, but I didn't know how to use them because I was a dumbass kid. So, anyways, all that said, Prototype 2 was a lot less ambitious, I feel, assuming that what I remember is even true. Like, that whole faction war thing they had going on, completely gone. Instead, the city is split into 3 different districts that you go to at points in the story, and then you pretty much never have to go back to an island. And they're all varying degrees of fucked up. The first district's pretty normal. It's called the Yellow Zone for whatever reason. There's plenty of military guys there. There's a couple monster dens. Military has been, like, secretly letting the virus monsters go eat people because they're trying to see its effects and, I don't know, further mutate it because they're still working on this virus that nearly destroyed the city. Why would they do such a thing? Well, it's part of the story. Then there's the Green Zone, which you'd think would be safer, but it's not. It's just where all the rich people live, and it happens to be swarming with zombies in many places. But it's still not quite fucked up. Then there's the Red Zone, which is actually fucked up, and there's like flesh growths on all the buildings. And yeah, it's full of zombies. That said, the zombies that pose absolutely no threat. Same goes with normal citizens. They're kind of just there. You can eat them whenever you want. They don't attack you at all. And they don't really react to you when you're doing your fuck shit either. Like, if you're going for a stealth kill, if there's a normal NPC next to you, no big deal. Now, see, on to the character. In the first game, you played the white edgelord in a hoodie and black leather jacket, Alex Mercer. He was just an edgy guy. He talked like Shadow the Hedgehog, but like had even less personality. But yeah, he basically had Shadow the Hedgehog arc too, where he's like, I am the ultimate life form! In this game, you play a guy whose family was killed by that guy, and he's a black man, still edgy, but now he's an edgy black man, so it's like funnier. He's like, nobody calls me a bitch. Bitch. You have wonderful lines like that dropped constantly because the writing is so very bad. Yeah, Alex Mercer like chose you for whatever reason, and you become just like him, except more powerful because your DNA is better, I guess. Black power. And eventually you decide that he's not a good guy, even though he's acting like he's a good guy, and then, yeah, you fight him, he's the final boss of the game, whatever. The story, absolutely stupid, didn't care, pointless. You go from mission to mission and kill shit. That's what the game is. And there's really not much to do in between. There are collectibles in open worlds, some are audio logs, some are just teams of like 3 people who die in one hit, so they were like the most pointless of the collectibles. The audio logs themselves weren't very interesting either. You just hear stuff and it's like, wow, this military organization sure does suck. And there are monster dens, which are actually pretty difficult because the monsters are the only real difficult enemies in the game. Completing collectible sets will get you mutations, which are like perks you get when you level up, except you don't have to level up for them. So basically, when you get to a new island, you go get all the collectibles before you do anything, because it'll make your life a hell of a lot easier. Somewhere in the middle of Act 2, you will get the ability to become immune to bullets. So, like, turns the whole game into a fucking joke. Yeah, really, if you're not enjoying the gameplay from after the end of the first act, you're not going to enjoy the rest of this game, because, like, there's pretty much nothing else in it for you. For whatever reason you did choose to go on, it's pretty short. I think it only took me about 10 hours. I just freaking ate this game, and the whole time I was like, this is so unbelievably bad. Like, it's so bad it's almost fun kind of way. The power ramp you feel is very astounding. You'll level up and then you'll put a point in your movement and be like, increase your sprint speed by 100%, jump by 300%. And like, the difference is that notable. Right, so as far as your weapons are concerned, I don't think this character had anything unique to him except for his special abilities, of which he only has 2. Otherwise, he has the same weapons, you know, claws, big fist, sword, whip. Really nothing interesting there. Game's pretty ugly. Maybe it was good looking for the time, but I'm gonna say it came out towards the end of the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, so it could definitely look better. A lot of the same character models are used again and again, too. Which is especially noticeable when you use your shape-shifting. When you stealth kill someone, you take their identity, and that means there are like 3 costumes that you'll ever be wearing. There's the military guy, the Dark Watch military guy, which is like a science military, the scientist, the science military commander, and a normal scientist, which is an old guy. And those are the only forms you ever take. The stealth is very bad. There's nothing to it. You just kind of walk up to someone, like, poke them with your fingers, and they're eaten. And nobody notices when people are gone. Nobody notices when a man leaves his post, even though he just... Yeah, there was nothing to it. Very simplistic, but that makes up, like, 80% of what you're doing throughout the game. Going through stealth segments, getting a specific identity to open a door, and then going into one of 3 environments that are copy and pasted throughout the entire game. Literally every military facility is like made in a factory, and you just plop it down and it looks the same every time. Yeah, there's very little variety in this game. It feels like it was made in under a year for sure. And yeah, I guess that's all I had to say about it. It was pretty unambitious compared to the first one from what I remember. And his story was boring. The power ramp was satisfying, I guess, so if you're really looking for a sandbox, you can do a lot better, but maybe. Also, it runs like shit on the PC. It's a notoriously bad port, but I had to install some shady patches to make it work right. And even then, I couldn't get rid of this flicker. There's like a post-processing effect or something on the main camera that makes everything shaky, which makes it like kind of sickly looking. It feels very like generic Biohazard-y, but like that effect is applied to even your desktop when you alt-tab out, and it's very disgusting to look at when you're not actually moving. Speaking of the game running like shit, the menus take a year to open, every single one of them. You pause to look at the map and it'll be like, you'll sit there for a solid minute before any map icons pop up or you're allowed to navigate anywhere on the map. Then you have to load a different screen to look at like the collectibles, which will take another minute to load. You want to go to your character level up menu, it takes another minute to load. Ooh, those menus are terrible. What else is there? There's something else. Right, I wanted to talk about... I guess I want to shout out an anime/manga called Parasite, not to be confused with the award-winning movie, because that's what the monster is, / the virus looks like in this game, and you could say that the Ouroboros virus from Resident Evil 4 also took inspiration from the very same source, I think. It's kind of just like flesh and steel. I like the design, but I feel like they just... One, it's inherently edgy. Two, I've seen it in 3 places now, so it's a lot less interesting than the first time I saw it, which was in Resident Evil 4, but I believe the manga is older than that. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Not a great game. Give it like a 4 out of 10. Maybe less. Okay, next. I've been working on this one since like January. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Friend bought it for me since we both really enjoyed Vesperia. I had previously played Symphonia and Zestria before it. Not a huge fan of Zestria. I didn't understand the gameplay and the story wasn't awesome. Symphonia though was a freaking... It was amazing. So when I saw that they were remastering Vesperia, which I never got a chance to play, and it had like the same kind of gameplay as Symphonia, I was freaking amped. So, first off, yes, it is a JRPG, but it's an action JRPG. That's what the whole Tales franchise is about. Even the first game, I think the first one, Tales of Fantasia on the SNES, is an action RPG. It had side-scrolling action combat, which is great. It all feels really good. They all have like the depth of fighting games. Except, you know, you don't have to be told that you're trash and get your ass beat online. There is co-op you can do, but only during the battles in all the games. Speaking of which, if anyone's ever heard of Parsec, which lets you share your computer with people, they can hook up their own controllers from their own house, and like you can stream the multiplayer together. I was doing that with a friend a few days ago, and it works great. Anyways, on to the game. To start with, yeah, it's pretty, real pretty. Let's see, we've got a pretty wonderful cast. I enjoyed the whole party. Some of them are kind of one note, but everyone else pretty much has a good depth of character to them. Mage character, Rita specifically, I didn't feel like she underwent any character growth, and that's why she feels the most one note out of everyone. You do have the option between Japanese and English voice acting. I went with the English, and you know, it's pretty good for the most part. Our boy Troy Baker does a fantastic job as Yuri. However, during the Definitive Edition, they added more content, including 2 new companions, and they happen to not be able to get some of the voice actors back. So when when some of the characters are interacting with the new companions, you'll hear like a different voice actor doing their best impression of the original. And it's not the worst, but there's definitely a lot less depth to, they have less range. Like, they have to do a very monotone impression of whoever. So it can be a bit off-putting. You know when it's happening, but it's not terrible. As far as the gameplay in this one goes, it basically like Symphonia, but has a lot more depth. So it plays a bit more like Soul Calibur. Is a good thing. Every character plays completely differently. Also, like, the first time they split up our group and I had to pick someone besides the protagonist, I picked our other MVP, Carol, and he only has a 2-hit combo. And he's like swings a great sword, does big damage. And he's kind of a support character, but he's also a big damager. And he's great. So there's a lot of replayability in the sense that you can switch characters and go through the game again. Whenever you beat one of these games, you always earn what are called Tails coins, which as you go into New Game Plus with various modifiers. Like you can buy an OP item or something like that. There's usually bonus dungeons and stuff to do too, so there is value in a replay. This one was pretty long though. It took me about 80 to 90 hours compared to the others, which took me around 50. Pretty long. More about the combat. There's a skills system. When you get a weapon, as you increase your familiarity with it, you'll unlock skills that are unique to that weapon, and then you'll be able to equip them without having that weapon equipped after the fact with your skill points that you earn when you level up. And so, you know, some of these are lame. There's like do 15% more damage or whatever, but some of them completely change the way you play. It'll be like you can hold block and press back to do a backstep, or block and forward to do a parry block, which will block all damage, or you can lock a magic guard, or you can double jump. So I really like that system. I do. There's a lot more than just passive bonuses in it, which makes it feel like the things that you're equipping matter. As far as the story goes, it was weird. Like, it was good, and like I don't have any problems with the plot, but you have like very small time goals, and you just like, okay, what do we do now? Hey, new thing happened, let's go do that. So it feels like you're just taking on jobs as your adventuring group, kind of like what I imagine a D&D campaign feels like when you're doing a big one. You never just have a big overarching goal. Like, you're not the Phantom Thieves and we have to fix the hearts of all the rotten adults. Or you're not looking for the serial killer in Nineveh. Those are both Persona examples. Yeah, there's just never a big goal until the final act. So it feels like a very organically written thing. Like, these people are a lot less chosen. They're not chosen ones. There's people taking jobs, and they happen to end up saving the world eventually. Anyways, game was great. The story isn't like quite as full of twists as, say, Vesperia or Symphonia, but still a great game. I think it maybe has the best gameplay, question mark. Vesperia had really good gameplay, but it's a different style of gameplay, so it's hard to judge. As far as the ones that are somewhat 2D go, this one's the top. Right, great game. Third one is on the Switch, actually. Astral Chain, another game given me by the same friend. So this is a platinum game. You know what you're getting into, pretty much. It's gonna play like Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, character action game, whatever. You're about cops. You're a cop on a place called Ark because the rest of the world is fucked up, I guess, by Digimon. I think that's what they are. I mean, they're like digital demon monsters, and they corrupt people's data, which I guess means they mutate DNA or something. I don't know. It turns people into monsters, but they're very clearly from some kind of digital realm. So, like, it's weird. I don't understand them. Anyways, you're part of like a spec ops group that has tamed some of these monsters to use against them, and that's where like the light RPG elements of this come in. You can level up your monster, and so you have a shape-shifting baton, which can turn into a police baton, which is a fast-stacking melee weapon, a two-handed great sword, or a gun. At first, I found myself using mostly the greatsword, but as the enemy variety increased, I found that the baton was useful in more situations, so I stuck to that for a while, and once you've really leveled up your weapon, the gun is pretty much the only thing you'll ever want to touch. As far as your Legion, that's what your tamed beast is called. There's 5 of them? A sword one, a bow one, a beast one, a punch one, and an axe. They all play very differently. Like, they have different lengths on their chain. They have different weapons, obviously. The beast one doesn't float, so it's a bit more annoying to control him. He's probably my least favorite of the bunch. Now, what's unique about this game, aside from having 2 characters fighting at once and form the Legion, there's the chain itself, which you can use in cool ways. Like, you can wrap it around enemies and jump to the chain, and you'll kick whoever's in the way, so you can chain together things like that. Or you can use it to reposition quickly, like you can get behind a guy and do bonus damage with backstabs. Or you can... Your Legion's fast enough, that is, you can run around them and tie them up like a walker in the Rogue Squadron games. That was cool. However, they also use that same zip to chain mechanic for pseudo platforming, and it's probably my least favorite part of the game. Like, for the most part, you just have to stand still, send out your guy, and then jump, which isn't very fun. It kind of breaks the fast pace of the game. But then sometimes you have to wrap that chain around like pillars and stuff so you can curve your jump, and when you do that, it just sometimes does not work, and you lose health when you fall, so it really sucks. As far as the grading system goes, it seems to favor time above everything else, so like, there's a built-in extra live system that you can upgrade to like 3 lives per mission. And there are items you can pick up to refill those. So if you happen to die, it doesn't really deduct from your score at all. But it does take a long time to revive, so that's how it hurts you. Which means there were several boss fights where I did die, and I still got an S+. Towards the end, I was getting plenty of S+, which made me feel good, because I'm usually pretty bad at these games. There are 3 difficulty levels. You have to beat a mission before you unlock the hard difficulty. Otherwise, it does default to one without any rankings, if those make you feel bad, like they do with me. However, I wanted the difficulty, so I upped it anyways. When I got to the final boss, I thought the difficulty spike was freaking ridiculous, and it really soured the taste in my mouth. Early on, when you're exploring, you can find like optional paths which can get you rare things that you equip into your guy, or sometimes you'll encounter optional bosses, which were really cool, but as the game went on, they became less frequent. There's a camera feature. You're supposed to take pictures of all the enemies, which is kind of stupid, only if you care about lore, which I don't when the enemy is named a bunch of letters and numbers. Yeah, it was silly that you have to take selfies with all the bosses, but I did. Before any combat happens, there's usually like an hour-long segment where you'll do cop work, beat cop work. You'll pick up trash, you'll solve small-time cases. Sometimes people run and you have to tie them up with the chain. Sometimes you have to use your dog to sniff out a scent. A digital scent. Much like how microphones translate sound into numbers, this dog is capable of doing the same thing with smell. And then it traces that scent through databases, and it doesn't really make sense. A lot of the story doesn't make sense, and it's confusing, and I couldn't really follow. And it has some pretty heavy Evangelion influence. So the cop stuff was fun. It's kind of like Yakuza in how, like, the game seems mostly realistic, but then this anime stuff happens. So it's, like, funny that way. As far as the art style goes, it's good. It's an anime game, but the world seems to be somewhat realistically rendered. So much so that everything is freaking shiny and metal, and the freaking light reflections are all over the place, and they're crazy. It's a very shiny game. They really wanted to show off the power of their lighting. Not sure how I feel about it, though. I guess it helped emphasize the realistic tone they were going for, like, while it does use, like, the cell shading, it's mostly not an anime-type story or whatever. I don't know. Speaking of which, towards the end of the game, you do get this superpower demon mode. And it's in, like, the second to last mission, and when you use it, the anime theme song plays. Kind of underwhelming, honestly, because you lose a lot of your functionality while you're in this mode. And it's basically just mash the attack button for whatever duration it is. You can't even dodge. Yeah. I don't know how I really felt about this one. And the gameplay is solid for the most part. The platforming was kind of annoying and tedious. A lot of the world spaces look the same, especially when you go to Astral Chain, which is literally the same stuff. It's just like red and black boxes all over the place. I couldn't follow the story, so I can't say I'm necessarily excited for a sequel if they did, in terms of that. It was mostly fun, though. I think that the actual combat could have used a little more depth, because since you're managing two guys at once, they had to simplify what each person's doing. And when you start the game and you have the level 1 baton, literally all you can do is light attack, and it's kind of bland. Once you level it up, though, you get, like, heavies and delayed attacks, but, like, there still needs to be a little more depth to it, I felt. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to a sequel, that's for sure, but I didn't necessarily love this game as much as other Platinum properties. So, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about it. It was alright. Give like a 7. Number rankings are pretty arbitrary, but that's the feeling I'm getting on it. A little above average. Got that platinum stamp of quality, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's all the games. Now, speaking of which, last time I mentioned I want to try and like edit these out of the videos and post them up like independently. However, YouTube is like beta testing a feature that kind of does that for me, and all I have to do is include timestamps in my videos, and then like it'll come up in the search results as just this part of the video, and I can start from there. And that's gonna save me a lot of time. Can't wait for them to roll that out. However, I do still have to go through a process of watching all my old stuff and finding timestamps for things that I'm working through ever so slowly. Also, did just find a new editing software. I want to give this video making thing another shot. I have like a script for something in the works. I don't know when that'll be ready, but I don't know, I'm gonna give it another shot, see if I can put actual content on my channel instead of just dumping streams. Anyways, we talked for like 40 minutes about video games, guys, so I hope someone got something out of it. I'm out of here. My voice is starting to hurt, and I feel foam in my throat. Take care, everyone.